Okay, guys, we have new notes. Yay! We are on topic 2 of our math book, and we are moving on to integers. Okay, so here I've got, don't forget your name, your date, our topic, our class, topic 2. So we are talking about integers today, and we are going to look at the number line. This is the first part of our integers. And the number line below helps us visualize positive and negative numbers, okay? So refer to your number line here. So positive numbers are numbers that are greater than 0. Write that down. Greater than 0. Also put the number 0. Okay? Negative numbers are numbers that are less than 0. All right? But what about 0? That's the question, because you see right here in my little number line, 0, he's neither negative nor positive. So 0 is neither negative or positive. Okay, so be mindful. It's not negative and it's not positive. Okay, it's neither. It doesn't fall into either of those categories. So, but opposites. Opposites are two numbers that are the same distance from 0. For example, we can give talking about a whole number. Let's choose right here, -3 and 3 are opposites, okay? Because when I look at my number line, if I'm going to start from -3 and count to 0, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I go from +3 to 0, 1, 2, 3. They are the same distance from 0. And I'm going to take my handy dandy highlighter, as I hope you do the same. And I want you to highlight that. It's very important to understand that opposites are two numbers that are the same distance from 0. Okay? So let's talk about integers now. I want my pen, I want my pencil. So integers. Here's the thing about integers. Integers are whole numbers including negative numbers, positive numbers, and 0. 0 is an integer. Okay, so we give you a second there to write that down. 0 is an integer. So integers are whole numbers, including negative numbers, positive numbers, and 0. Okay, so thinking about opposites and looking at my number line, okay, and looking at my example right here. -3 and +3 are opposites because they are the same distance from 0, okay? And when we count distance, it's a positive number. You can never travel a negative distance, no matter which direction you're walking. When you count your distance, it's positive. So opposites, though, we have negative numbers, we have positive numbers. But distance, and we'll learn about that, it's called absolute value is positive, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So integers, the opposite of each integer. So number 1, I have +17. Well, if I'm looking at my example here of +3, all I did was write the same integer, and then I just added negative, okay? So if I have -9, the opposite is +9. If I have +24, the opposite is -24, okay? If I have positive, number 4, if I have -140, it's positive 140. Negative 31 is positive 31. Positive 58 is negative 58. Okay, that's it. That's it. I know. It's craziness. It's craziness. Okay. So, next thing we want to do is graph each integer on a number line. So when we are doing this, we need to label our number line. Okay. So I'm gonna go with this is gonna be 0. Okay, and this is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. And again, you can always refer to your number line at the top as an example. I'm going to highlight that I've got that there. So when I am checking work like this, I want to know that you can label your number line correctly and then place your integer in the correct place. So I'm going to put my 0 in the middle here, and I'm going to say positive 1, positive 2, but I might label a little bit more to kind of give more of a visual so that I understand my integer placement on a number line. Now I have negative 11, okay? So I'm just going to pick a place. I'm going to say negative 11 here, but then label your other tick marks to show me that you understand your placements of integers, okay? Notice that my negatives, I'm going backward, okay? So because negative 6 is smaller than negative 5, negative 7 is smaller, but I'm going to the left. So as my actual numbers increase, they're negative, okay? So they're smaller. There's my negative 11. I'm going to do the same thing with negative 34. Then I have negative 33, negative 32, negative 31, negative 30, negative 29, negative 28. Okay. Then I have negative 52, negative 51, negative 50, negative 49, negative 48, negative 47, and negative 46. Okay, if you need to pause and catch yourself up, you can do that. So we will be doing more of this where you will be graphing each integers on number lines to demonstrate your understanding. So please notice that my positive numbers, I'm going to back up here for a minute, and if you need to pause, you can pause. But just to kind of note again, positive numbers increase, right? 2 is bigger than 1, 3 is bigger than everything going this way. But as you notice with my opposites, it's still 1 and 1, 2 and 2, right? But understand that negative 1 is greater than negative 2, and here's why. If you think about your bank account, would you rather be owing somebody $2 or just owing them $1? Would you rather be owing somebody $6, which is, ooh, right? Or negative 1. So think about that. Also think when we are going below sea level, how deep are we going? Okay, negative is going down. Let's turn to our second page. See? Oh, I love these vocabularies, and I'm going to recommend that we get our highlighter out again. So here we are. We have, they want to write an integer to model each situation. So when I'm doing this, I'm going to highlight some vocabulary words that will kind of help me later on know if I'm writing a positive number or a negative number. So the word incline means going up, and I'm going to say positive above it, okay? When I say above sea level, that is positive. Now, a drop, okay, is negative because we're going down. A debt is when you owe money. That's yucky. It's yucky. is negative. And then a 21-day extension means we're increasing. Extensions are good sometimes. I'm just going to put it out there. Okay, so looking at 12, the even numbers right here, a 13-foot incline is just 13. Okay. But we're gonna use our unit of measurement, and we said feet, right? 13 feet. Now remember, positive numbers, you don't have to put a positive sign in front. It's just what it is. 8 feet above sea level, so we have 8 feet, and since it's positive, we do nothing else. A 42-foot drop, so we're gonna write 42 feet, but hear me out, we're gonna say negative, okay, because we dropped. A debt of 120 is $120, okay? But we're going to say negative because you owe money. 21 days, so we're going to say 21 days. That's all we're going to do. So please notice the pattern here. Positive integers do not have a positive sign in front, okay? Negative integers do, though. So here's another thing to highlight. 16 below is negative. Okay. Deposit. Oh, those are my favorite kind at the bank. It's positive. 28-pound gain. Oh, I don't know. I'm not always excited about a gain like that. But we're going to say that's a positive thing. Sure. A $15 discount. In this case, it is negative, but hey, that means you have $15 off. I kind of like that. I can get on board with that. A 900-foot descent. Descent is when we go down, so that's also negative, okay? So we're going to go 16. We're going to write our integer with our unit of measurement first, and then we're going to add our negative sign if we're supposed to. $75 deposit. Remember, positive does not require a plus sign. Okay. A 28-pound gain. So we're going to write 28 pounds. That's my abbreviation, and it's a gain, so it's a positive. We don't do anything in front. Okay. A $15 discount. In this case, I can get on board with that. Okay. 900-foot descent. So 900 feet. And then we're going to add that negative because we went down. It was negative. Okay. So be mindful of that, especially with these vocabulary words here. We got to really look at that vocabulary and determine, is it a positive or negative number? All right, but now we're going to compare some little integer boos here, okay? Now, at the end of the day, some things I want you to remember, because we do have that number line. You can reference again, okay? But I want you to think about this. A positive number is always greater than a negative number. So as you're doing your work and you're like, if you don't want to get bogged down on this, do what you know first. Do what you are confident in that you know. For example, 22. I have a positive and a negative. Well, already you must know that a positive is greater than. So I'm just going to do this. And I want you to look for your positive, negative number combos, okay? Ooh, but look at 24. Let me tell you this. 0 is always greater than a negative number. Again, think about that. Do you want to owe somebody money, or do you like 0 is good for me? Okay, so tell yourself 0 is always greater than a negative. I'm going to put this right here. Ooh, I like it. I like it right here. 0 is always greater than a negative. Write that down, happy friends. It's a great. Okay. Okay, here's another one. Positive integers are always greater than negative integers. Highlight that one. Try to keep them separate. Okay, I'll give you a second to write that down. And we'll keep on keeping on. Okay. So using these little notey notes here, let's go back and look at these. So 0 is always greater than a negative. So if I'm comparing negative 9 and then I can't say positive, just 0 is greater, okay? I have a positive and I have a negative, and we know positive integers are always greater than negative, so there I go. We're going to wait on this for a minute, wait on that, wait on that. Okay, negative 16 and positive 15. Again, positive integers are always greater than negative integers. Hot dog sauce. Okay, now we are left with the tricky ones, the ones that I know we're going to struggle with, so let's talk a minute about these. I have 23, 25, 28, 29. You have two negative numbers you're comparing, okay? Now here's the thing. If you are looking at your number line, if you go back up here for a second and look at your number line, okay? Please note that as a negative number essentially gets bigger, what I mean, it's moving closer to 0. It's greater than the ones moving further away from 0. So if I were to look at negative 27 and negative 4 on a number line, okay, negative 4 is closer to 0, okay? Negative 4 is closer to 0, so negative 4 would be greater. Another way to try to tell yourself to look at this is if you're looking at both of your numbers and you see 35 and 38 and you think, oh, well, of course 38 is bigger than 35. But if it's negative, it's smaller. Okay, so if it's negative, they're both negative. Look at your numbers. And the number right here, okay, yes, if I had no negatives, that would be smaller. But this is, think negative 35 is closer to 0, so it's bigger. Okay. Look at negative 52 and negative 48. Negative 48 is closer to 0, so it's bigger. Woo, negative 1 and negative 23. Well, negative 1 is closer to 0, so it's greater as well. Okay, so just try to think about, remember these few little rules we're talking about here to kind of help you as you go through your assignments. Oh, look at this. Ordering each set of numbers from least to greatest. Hot dog sauce. Let me just straighten these up real fast. Okay. So, here's what I want you to think about. I would make a number line here. I would make a number line, okay? And if you want, you can put your answer here. But my number line, I have 0, okay? I'm going to place my positive numbers first. So, 3 would be over here, okay? Now ask yourself, ooh, and there's 16. 16 would be over here, right? My positive. I'm gonna take care of my positive first. I'm putting a little check mark. I'm not Xing them out, but every year we do this. Please put a little check or mark your number to make sure we've identified its location and we haven't left it out. Now, just like when we were comparing here, you need to ask yourself, what is closer to 0? Okay, and remember, I'm counting to the left. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Okay, and then as I keep going, my next integer would be negative 7. And then after that, moving to the left would be negative 18. Now my spacing isn't perfect, but we get the gist here. Okay, now I am just, don't worry about 0. Okay, that's just a placeholder. It's kind of dividing our number line from between our positive and our negative numbers. So don't add 0 when we're putting these integers in order. He's just putting he's in the middle. He's in the middle of tug of war. Now, please also be mindful of your directions. It says order each set of numbers from least to greatest. So what is my smallest? Well, looking to the far left, it would be negative 18. And then what comes after that? Negative 7, comma, negative 4, comma, positive 3, comma, positive 16. Okay? I highly recommend the use of your number line, because if you are not getting these correct, I'm going to ask you why you keep following the rule of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So here we go again. All right. I'm going to use 0 again as my middleman. I'm going to work with my positive numbers first, and I'm going to say what's closer to 0, and I have 20. So I'm going to say 20. Then I have 24. Okay, so those guys are covered. Now, what is closer to 0? Negative 12, negative 39, or negative 24. Remember, we're counting backward, if you will, but adding a negative in front of it. So negative 12. And then we're going down the line, negative 24. And then negative 39. Okay, so we're going to write this down. Least to greatest, negative 39, negative 24, negative 12, 20, and 24. Okay. Let's look at these. Number 32, next step. I have, zeros in my lineup, guys. Look at that. Put 0 in the middle. That's where he belongs. Remember, he's our tug-of-war middle guy. And I have 1 positive. I have 9, so we can mark that off. I have 9 over here. But I have negatives. Again, counting to the left will be negative 32 because it's closest to 0. And then negative 57 is the next closest. And then negative 64. Okay? So that's going to put negative 64, negative 57, negative 32, 0, and 9. Okay? One more set. You guys are super duper awesome sauce. Okay. I have, again, my number line, which is, again, this is the best thing since sliced bread. They're all negative. So I got to ask myself, what is closer to 0? And again, you can always flip over to this number line up here as a reference. It is totally kosher to do so. Okay? Okay, so I'm negative 1. What's next? Negative 3. Negative 8. Negative 13, and negative 24. Okay, so just list those left to right. And don't forget your negative sign. I almost forgot my negative sign. That would not have been very good. All right, let's look at 34. In the past 5 days, the stock market has gained 40 points, lost 32 points, lost 15 points, lost 6 points, and gained 7 points. Write these values as integers and order them from least to greatest. So